Kathy here with my second guest design page for SpiegelMom Scraps. And as you can see, I'm playing with doing a giant shaker pocket. And what I've done is, and you'll see when I turn it over, but I just wanted you to see it in this stage and to kind of see what I do from here. It's a shaker pocket with leaves, and I've used my Big Mama foam tape to go around each section of waves. In this case, I think I have two together, and I've put different sequin mixes, and I have used Glacier Summit, which is what this one is, Oceanside Breeze, which is this one, Winter Woods, which is this one, just to get a little green in there, and you'll see kind of why in a minute, and Fern Gully, which is this one that has some greens and teals and purples, Dolphin Cove, which actually has little dolphins in it, little dolphin sequins, and that's this one. Mermaid fins I've put in here, and Easter egg hunt is this one. Now I'm keeping these sequin mixes around because you'll notice that with the foam I kind of crossed over some of the holes there. Well, I'm going to fill those holes in with sequins over on the other side, and we'll see how that works out. I have sea glass out here, but chose not to use it. I wasn't sure that the yellow and the brown sequins would go with the look, but I may regret that because there's some brown in the photos. The photos I'm using are these two. When I met Johnny, who is Lisa Sikorsky's little boy, at the Dotty About Flair crop, he brought this fish and he wanted to be photographed with the fish. So I took a couple photos, and I haven't scrapped them, but he scrapped them. And it had they had the black background, and he was showing the fish. And the fish is actually blue. When I filtered these, they came out this teal green, and that kind of set some of my color choices there. So fast forward, a couple months, and I'm at our neighborhood pool, and I'm exercising, and I'm there by myself, and there is a little fish about the same size as his. It looks much bigger here because I was taking a selfie and my arm didn't go out that far. And it just looked like the kind of fish Johnny would like, and he was bobbing along in the pool water, kind of following me. I was creating some waves as I did my exercises, and he came in and started bouncing around with me, so doing his exercises too. So I got out of the pool, took a selfie, and then put the toy where his human could come pick him up. So anyway, that's the story behind the photos and behind the sequins. So what I'm going to do now is the part that I fear the most in shaker pockets, and that's peeling the backing off of the foam tape. And when I do it, sometimes as I kind of try to pick it up with my fingernail, it bounces the sequins around, and then they start sticking to the adhesive. And that's, I think that's just the cost of doing business. I think it's just something that happens, and there's not a secret magical way to prevent it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that it's happened to. But you'll notice that I've put these strips of tape kind of in between the sections. Now I lifted the shaker pocket up and let the light kind of come through it, and oh, it looks gorgeous. I just kind of wanted to see if that particular mix of colors, because I didn't overthink it. I just kind of poured sequins in, and the next one up was the next sequin packet I picked up was the next one I poured into the next section, if any of that makes any sense whatsoever. You can kind of see, even as careful as I'm being, this sequin kind of stuck there. And it's probably okay. One sequin like that probably wouldn't make too much of a difference in the overall adhesion of the pocket to the page, but just in case, you kind of want everything to be flush. And now we're getting to the part where my eyes aren't good enough to tell which ones I've peeled. And so when I touch the ones that I haven't already peeled, it sticks, and then I lift the whole thing and risk things. This is honestly the most careful I've ever been, and I will also tell you I've never done this on camera. Now I have my 2 photos, and I have a few other embellishments lined up, but I honestly don't know. I have a general idea of a quote-unquote design, but I don't really know how. It would be great if I could tuck photos down in under these waves, but with this adhesive up close to the edge, that's not going to be possible. Oops. It's hard to lift the tape on small pieces of the foam tape. I think I just have 1 or 2 more sections. And I have filled my pockets more full rather than less full, because I like the look of sequins kind of top to bottom. Let me take a couple of these small ones out. And most of the time you see me kind of picking through the sequin mixes to pull out certain colors or sizes. What I love about doing shaker pockets, fake or real, is that you just kind of pour out the mix and you let the mix do what it was meant to do. Okay, now here's the tricky part. I am going to, I've done some testing of with a stencil, but I'm gonna try to adhere this so that it's centered on the page, and I'm actually going to do it on this side because that's the textured side, and that would be really pretty. So I'm going to kind of line up the bottom like that. And kind of put it down. And I'm going to press all the way over it. And we'll see. I can tell as I'm pressing that some sequins kind of got between the paper and the adhesive. But this, Okay, and here a piece of my foam kind of decided to sneak out, but I'm telling you, I kind of love it. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, and I've got this stencil, and I've got several colors of ink. I wanted to test and make sure that the ink would come out. I'm going to kind of line it up where it was and use a couple more. I think I'm going to go with some tumbled glass on a couple, and it's kind of there. I'm going to do some green, salvage patina. It's not exactly green. It's a very green kind of aqua. And I don't know if it'll look any different. On this page. And I may turn the stencil over and have some of the fish swimming the other way. Kind of like this. And not trying to be complete and realizing that there will be some that are, you know, kind of shadowy. Now I'm using speckled egg, which is kind of a grayish. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go like that. There. Okay, so that's going to be my background. And I have another stencil that I thought I would do. I thought I'd like to do, that foam is kind of sticking out right there, and I honestly don't know what to do about that. Put these aside. I tell you what I can do is I can use some sequins on the outside. So these are the circles where I'm going to put some sequins on the outside. But I want to get this background done before I get to that detail work. I like this fish and thought I might have it kind of partly swimming onto the page, and then this little clownfish maybe over here, and to do it in white texture paste. And if I do that, then I have to wait to do let's see, if I do these kind of like that, let's say I do that. I just kind of think that I want to let this be the star, and so I'm not going to do the texture paste. I'll just leave these little fish back there. And I will, I've got some icons that can kind of swim along the waves. I've got a little clownfish that can maybe kind of be approaching from this side. That's actually facing the wrong way. I guess I'll have the clownfish. Maybe I'll move these guys over to this side. And we'll do that. And I have a seahorse that can go down here. And I have this crab, this little card that says, "Oh snap," but that bright yellow would have worked on my last layout, but I don't like it on this one. So I'm going to put it aside. And I have some let's do the sequins now though, just for the hell of it. What I did, I have a, I bought from SpiegelMom Scraps a while back a pack of their sequin shaker acetate sheets. So they're 8.5 by 11, and I laid this, I glued this on and then cut around to get the wave shape, and then put the foam behind there. But you all probably knew that. Let's do the sequins. I'm anxious to do the sequins. I'm gonna pour mermaid fins and Fern Gully into here and kind of mix them up. That gives me to me the best mix of the vivid greens and or teals and greens. So I'm going to put those away. Now, hopefully this will go pretty fast. The sequins will stick right in there and hide the fact that the foam is coming through. And I'm just going to take them one by one. Easier said than done. And just kind of mix up the colors. I'm not, some of the colors I was going for are upside down, so. I like that. I like how that's looking. I hope you do. This gives me a minute to think about what I want to do. I may do just this one wave on camera and then do the rest of it off camera. But this gives me a minute to think about what else I might want to include in here. And in a second, I'll be finished with this one wave. And you'll get the idea of how it's going to look all around there. Let's get... this one needs to be somewhere else. It's not the right, it's not big enough to hide. It could have gone up there where there was no tape showing, but it's not big enough to hide the tape, and that's after all the point. And I'm not going to try to relate the colors of the sequins going in the holes with the sequins that are inside that wave. I'm just going to use pretty colors and let them do what they do, which is sparkle and shine. So that gives you an idea there. I will put those aside, and then I'm going to go ahead and mount the photos because I think I'm happy with them there. And I have a little bit of foam up top. But I didn't want too much. I didn't want the foam down here, so they're kind of tucked under there as best they can be. So I may overlap that fish, and I may have the turtle swimming out of the wave. My title is Too Many Fish in the Sea, and it's because for the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge, I need to have a song title. So that as soon as I decided this was going to be the layout about the fish, that's the song that, you know, took up residence in my head. And I want to get the title on so that I know where I can put the rest of my embellishments. I have some Flair and some other goodies, but I need to stamp part of the title, and I don't want to put, I just kind of want to place these bits. That says too many, and then I'm thinking fish goes right there, and then I've got in the sea, and I've just mounted little letter tiles on foam so that they stand up. And so it'll go like this. And then I can do an embellishment cluster there. I can add something to this cluster, and then maybe do something, a small cluster up at the top. So fish gets stamped right in there. I'm gonna push that away, and I will ink up my stamp. These stamps were, or alpha stamps that were in the Mind the Scrap, in a Mind the Scrap kit. Okay, so hopefully that will show. I think we decided it needed to go there. Okay, it did. And I was prepared if it messed up, because this is textured cardstock, and stamping, you know, depends on, it depends on a lot of things, whether the stamping is gonna work. That would be cute there, but the most all white place for it to go where it doesn't, you can actually see it well, is there. So I'm gonna do the rest of the title. Anyway, I was prepared to embellish the title as it, if it needed it. Okay. Let me see where this needs to go. Oddly enough, I have too many fish in the sea right up next to a turtle. And so looks like the turtle is jealously saying there's too many fish. Okay. What I may do is see if I have some yellow Nouveau drops and fill in fish. That would be dangerous, doing it directly, something like that directly on the layout. But I'd like something to bring that up. Maybe even clear Nouveau drops or glossy accents. I've got, that's a glittery pop of color. I'm not gonna bother myself with that right now. I'm gonna look for, I have a couple of, well, first of all, I have a chipboard sheet that has a watermelon on it. I've got both a wedge of watermelon and a slice of watermelon. And Johnny loves watermelon. So I pulled out a piece of yellow paper that I did not need. So I'm gonna maybe go with the wedge and see if I can make it part of a, how about I do a flare right there, or even kind of tucked in, and then put the slice of watermelon there and kind of build a cluster with okay, that green is perfect for the green of his shirt, and so I can do this right there, and I'm going to use some glue. Kind of go there, and then I'll figure out a third element to go there. In the meantime, I want something to go here, and I have two of these little things, one in a dark green and one in this kind of teal green. And they could be little pieces of seaweed kind of emerging from those waves. I know seaweed doesn't get above waves, but you know, humor me. And gonna go there. And I've got a little bit of the glue kind of peeking out from there. So I'm going to pull it up, clean out the little crevices there. This glue dries clear and matte, but since that's textured cardstock, it would probably still show if I left it there. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I want to look for something that works there. I like these clouds. There are a couple of clouds that I thought I'd build a cluster with, kind of right here where the fish kind of thin out. And so I'll do this one right here, and I'll build a little cluster there. And I'll put this one with a different kind of foam and see where it goes. That's too close to the edge. It can be seen with the naked eye, and therefore my camera will certainly see it. I like bringing in those greens because it kind of balances out these greens. I still haven't figured a place for this. Maybe right up there. I'm still kind of liking it down here, but I'd rather use it as part of a cluster. Maybe, does this need to be there, or can I do this and then maybe have that coming out from under? I have trouble with these things, and Lisa knows why. They're triangular. So if I do it this way, I get rid of the triangularity of it, and I can put this guy there. Okay, I need something else up here, and I don't think we can put a fish up there, but I might have, I thought I had a floral that might work. How about something like that? And I will bring a small floral. I'm going to take, I'll bring a small one down here so that I have florals in two places. And I can use almost any colors. What I'm looking for right now is the right shape. I like that one. I'm going to cut it at an angle and see if I can make it work under there. It kind of looks almost too much part of that. So how about if we do it like that? And it's already got some adhesive on it. I wanted it to kind of stick out a little bit there, and then maybe this one might work better here. I'm going to bring it down here, and maybe, so if I do that, that just covers a little bit of this fish's face and a little bit of Johnny's shirt. So if I put some foam and create some dimension, that has it standing up above the photos. Okay, so that's good there. Now some word strips and some stuff. I've got this hexagon piece that says wave after wave, and I kind of like that. Maybe it could fit down in there. Or, let's put it down there. I keep wanting to put something here. And I'm gonna, okay, that's down and that's down. It seems like I need something right there. There's a circular bit here that I was going to use in conjunction with a flare. I have that one flare. This is one that has starfish, and I could do that, and that brings in some greens. There we go. And I can add some sequins in around there. And I'm going to put this blue one up by the greenish clouds. And it has bubbles, which would seem to want to make it be more of a sea thing, but you know, I could go with clouds. And then I have to add something pink because Johnny doesn't necessarily like pink, and you would think that would be a reason not to use pink, but I always like to throw in a little bit of pink just to kind of show him that it's not all bad. So I can do that right there. And I have some little things like little arrows that I thought might be cute. Just apropos of nothing. And there's a camera. I'm gonna fussy cut it to a shape rather than just the square. And try to see if I can kind of squeeze it in right there. I'm gonna lift it up on this little square of foam. And if I have an arrow up there, I kind of want to bring one down here, maybe use one in each cluster. Don't have to do that, but it kind of brings a little bit of cohesiveness. So I'm going to call that part of the scene. This is a cluster, this is a cluster, and this is a cluster. So I'm going to take this little aqua arrow. Well, this is easier to see. I might want to use a different color there. I'm going to slide it up under the camera and let it go like that and rest on the flare. And I've got another kind of, let's see, what other colors? I have a red one, which doesn't really fit in with the color scheme, but this orange one doesn't really look like it goes with that cluster. So I'm going to go back to, I think there's another, nope. That's it. That's what it's going to have to be, guys. Okay, and this is supposed to be glued on there, but I have moved it around enough that I think it needs a refresher glue supply. Okay, so I think that's it. I will, after we, let me see, I think I turned that. I want that to be a little bit better. I think I need I had a punch here and I had a die cut. I will have to put that on afterwards. I actually have a few things I made that are on another table. And I actually was going to bring the punch to the table in case I wanted more. But I will add a couple of die cut starfish, kind of around on the waves. And I might do a something over around in here, maybe to kind of add a little different color there. But basically, I think this is done, and I'm going to slide the sequins. Oh, of course, sliding the sequins slides my seahorse. I have a very wayward seahorse here, and I'm not going to move it around anymore because he'll move. But I'll bring it up a little bit closer so you can see the sequins kind of glittering in there. I love it, and I think Johnny will love it, and it's a page for Johnny. And you can see Johnny's dad, Chris, back there. And the only thing I wish is that I could have figured out, I bet I probably could have figured out a sketch from his mom. I may do something to the fish. Glossy accents come to mind, and I honestly couldn't tell you where my glossy accents are, or maybe that glittered, clear glittered pops of color, or if I can find some clear glitter. I think I have some clear glittered Nuvo drops. So I have some more work to do. I appreciate your watching, and look for the post on the 20th. It'll be in Instagram, and in the Spread the Sparkle Facebook page, and on my own platforms. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.